safely.
Yeah, these bans and picks are a little bit different. Venomancer are often first pick, so is Clockwork. So these teams draft a little bit differently, but
They know exactly where they are. They're going to spot Fnatic. Havost is there too. And the unstable concoction connects on Bristleback. Havost in trouble. That'll be first blood. Era takes it. He's now looking for safety. He is cut off, though. So it will be at least a 1-for-1 trade. And here Nature's Attendants being used behind the fight. And we can actually see they managed to get Fnatic and make it 2-for-1 so far. No Tail, though, taking a bit of right click. Here comes Dindy, trying to catch him with the help of Kuroki. Should be able to snag him. Era's there. Auto attacks enough to bring it down. Now Era wants to re-engage. This is a terrible decision, as Puppey, caught out by himself, should end up being traded away as well. Navi should have taken that kill and backed, instead hung around and let Era re-engage as the rest of Fnatic rotates over. Dindy tries to hide and salve himself to safety, but the stun will be there. That's going to make it a 4-for-2 trade, favoring Fnatic. 6 kills on the board the first 30 seconds. Yeah, I think our prediction that we'd see some early action is seeing it's
level 1.5 minutes, and they do need to secure his farm. Havost in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. Fly there, hits the Gale. Some damage is being done, but Soul Assumption enough to secure yet another kill for Fnatic. And as we can see, up to the enemy's high ground. Moving in the wrong direction, my friend. That's not your side of the jungle. Throws out the Grave Chill, and the net is there.
That was a long-range net.
It was. He will be cleaned up, though. So they managed to make it 3-5. And, yeah, we see they have rotated quite a bit. Now, Era looking to make something happen on Havost, as Veno has rotated over. Here comes Kuroki and Puppey, though. Bit of an overextension, perhaps, from Fnatic. Going to cost them at least Era, if not more. Tried to use the wand charges, but No Tail was late in getting there. And Fly forced to go ahead and retreat, so nice anticipation. Vost dove on bottom. There's the Gale to follow up the unstable concoction. No Tail's there to help out. Chasing him all the way down into the woods. Not seeing a reaction yet. And the Quills doing a bit of damage, but with no one on the way to help out. Ends up dropping very easily. Now they might push. Here they come. Hani. And trying to get the courier out of the way. Hani got caught out there. Well done that time. And actually doing good damage to the Puppey, so trades himself away for a chin kill. And
they stack the stuns
relatively soon. Here we go. They're going to go for it again. Fly might end up dead here if he's not real careful. Here comes the TP's in. No Tail has to back out through the back. Eats a face full of goo as Fnatic arrives. Fnatic is 6, but doesn't have enough mana to throw the hook. Oh, a nice stomp on the Era as Kuro hooked up with him. They managed to pick off the Enchantress. Now they're trying to chase down Era. Fnatic, again, doesn't have enough mana for a hook. And Era throws out the unstable concoction. Is it enough? Rocket from downtown secures the kill.
Chased by birds.
And we can see Havost able to make it away with just about 70 HP. It's early game 1. Not failing to live up to the billing this series had coming in. Fnatic does use the wand charges. Now has enough for a hook. And not going to use it. Going to instead just go ahead and cog. He will end up just eaten alive, though. Cannot engage into a Visage at this level that has... The lift popped in mid, just heard a hook run right into someone's back, I'm going to guess. Now Puppey caught out, uses Hand of God. They're going to try to re-engage. Dindy's got to be careful, though. Stunned out by the Visage Familiars, and watch his health melt. He'll try to jump away. Will be able to make it back to the safety of the river. Kuro not likely to be as lucky. Dindy survives yet another Soul Assumption, and Kuro does manage to hook up with Fnatic via tether to risk from both sides going back and forth. Hani now going to be netted down. Havost is there doing what damage he can. Stun out from the Centaur, though. Locks him down. Will they be able to catch him? Unstable concoction tossed out onto Io. Havost trying to re-engage. There's a jump from Dindy going after Hani. Now decides to back out. Dodges the Gale. Lot of back and forth. An absolute tug of war here in this mid lane. Fnatic trying to set their heels and trying to look for a way to re-engage, but they might be a little too banged up. And Navi making this lineup work. We see Fly down. In the meantime, though, Trixie does manage to take another tier 1 tower. There's an unstable concoction on Havost. Can they follow it up? There's the acid spray, and the Gale's there. They've got the Visage Familiars there to pour out the damage. The Quill spray, though, is considerable. They can't rush in all jumped up like that or all bunched up. Puppey manages to get the stomp following the net on the fly. That will not be a kill as the wand charges are there. We see another creep stolen. Kuro tethers right to it, and they're trying to pursue him out. The Spirits... will be enough, but now it's going to end up being a 1-for-1 trade as they manage to lock him down. TP back in. Dindy decides to jump. He's got about half a bar of mana as he makes it to the high ground. And Trixie now spotting him out. Will do what damage he can. No Tail's right behind him. There's the Courier that gets picked off for free. And Dindy still trying to bottle himself to safety. There's a Grave Chill forcing another jump. And here's another creep stolen as Puppy steals it right back afterwards. So he's going to make it back to the other side of the river. And finally, I might get to take a breath. The result, 10-9, but it did cost Nav potentially be looking for one of his own. He's got about 1,200 gold in the bank. And we'll find out. Trixie just receives his Midas. Navi trying to make something happen at the tier 1. There is no glyph, but they are going to engage. Fnatic spotted out. Caught out with the unstable concoction. Gale's there to follow it up. Down go the cogs to disjoint things. The stomp's going to be off the mark. No Tail trying to heal him up, but decent amount of damage being done. There's Hand of God to get the gloves back up. Kuro ends up dying as there's a hook from Fnatic. Has a chance to catch a couple, but Dindy re-engaging. Fly pursued back near his own tier 1. They will trade Fly for Fnatic. Dindy, though, going to go ahead and jump back forward. Era wants to re-engage. Hani trying to make a run for it. Cleaned up with Overload. That's a triple kill for Dindy as he shows why his Storm Spirit is one of the most feared in the West, especially at this phase of the game. Going to catch out Trixie as well. He will be able to Shikuchi to safety as the stomp is off the mark from Puppy's Centaur that time, but the tower at top also likely to end up dropping. They still don't have a glyph, and Havos might be in some trouble as they look to catch him out, so hanging around a little too long, and he'll end up being traded away for free.
I think that lost 2 T1 towers, and if they take a bad fight, they lose a T1 as well.
Oh, Havos, way too high all by himself. Rest of his team was behind it, but they were down in the river. And Havos playing a little too bravely there. Gives one.
Maybe Dindy can jump in. It's still a really long shot, though.
He's going to go for it, and Enchantress actually grabbed it. No Tail might lose it just as quick. Fnatic does manage to pop it, ends up trading himself away. Kuro going to go ahead and tether back up to the high ground to one of Chin's creeps. There's Hand of God. They actually want to fight this. Hani, in the meantime, gets another kill. Good poison, Nova. Got Kuro and Puppy. Puppy just completely evaporates. And that's a triple kill going the way of Hani. Dindy actually just spent a buyback, and Havost is back up now and maybe looking to fight. Could be a wasted buyback. They need to get something here. Havost caught out once again with Grave Chill, followed by the Gale. He's down to half health. They're going to jump on Trixie. Vortex back. That's going to be a good kill for them. They're going to end up trading Havos for it, though, as he's cleaned up with auto attacks. Dindy might decide to jump on Fly or No Tail. Fly will die to one last auto attack. Dindy's out of mana, though. There's a tether up. Isn't enough? No. Soul Assumption makes it another double kill going the way of Hani. Hani at this point is 10-3. Running the
and Weaver, the 3 Midas is really really bad for them when Navi is constantly behind on kills.
And Dindy gonna jump right into the heart of the storm. There's a vortex on the area. He jumps back out. Cogs go down from Fnatic, but look at the damage output. Here comes Havos and Kuroki in. Havos trying to do what he can. Nice damage from the Quill Spray, but beautiful stunts from the Visage Familiars. Delay things a bit. They do manage to pick off Hani. Puppy will be cleaned up. And Havos runs into the Roche pit. Sorry, Roche ain't home. That's going to be a kill picked up by Era. Another very favorable trade, and it ain't done yet. Dindy eating a lot of damage. Time lapse by the Weaver gets him back to safety.
That familiar stun was ridiculous.
Down Heroes, nice hook from Fnatic on the Fly. Fly gets off the Poison Nova. Era might want to re-engage. Fnatic taking a bit of damage, but too much help from Navi. And now Era going to be Vortex back from Dindy. And No Tail there. Looking for a kill. Won't get it. Might get one on Kuroki, though. And Storm actually does end up dying to Venom's poison. So they end up getting a 2-for-1 there, trading a Venomancer. 400 in the bank. Is going to set
Kuroki's
back the
pushing
mech
top,
again.
So it's not that bad for him.
And free kill there. Kuro, as you mentioned, trying to split push top. And split push potential of an IO, not necessarily the best you've ever seen. Havost up at top. And they're going to have to send someone home to try and stop it. That'll be Era. And they're going to engage immediately. Era going toe-to-toe with him. Eating the Quill Spray and using his regen to survive through it. Here comes another TPN. And Havos will eat the unstable concoction. That's No Tail. And Chant will be there. And they could probably just about bring down Kuro. Now the Blade Mail's up, though. They got to really watch themselves. There's Nature's Attendants and a little help from the Rockets. Nice Gale. But we're beginning to see the power of Bristleback right when they need it most. And they're going to go ahead and try to get someone out of dodge. And actually just Kuro. Thought he was tethered up, but wasn't. The rest of...
Same with Lincoln's. It doesn't really do that much for School Spray.
Oh!
Was caught out. He's going to have to get relocated.
Yep. And sent back. This should be a free kill. Unless
we see
he pulls a no-tail.
Tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, what in the world was that? Let's see if he can do it. I have no idea. I'm watching Kuroki.
Yep, I'm watching here, so... Oh, there we go, yeah. See? Just tether. But for those who don't know what we're referring, in our first match... Fnatic
Storm ganks.
Era tosses out the unstable concoction. Dindy's there to help out. And he's got an Aegis, but not willing to go ahead and commit it yet. Now Dindy's going to go ahead and jump, grabbing him out, flies there. Big Poison Nova caught more than a few. Navi meching through it as they try to retreat now. And we see the creeps dying to a lot of hand of Midases. And Havost eating a lot of damage in the back, pops his blade mail. There's the Visage Familiar stun, Soul Assumption there to do a little bit more burst. Dindy down to about a quarter health. Has to be careful here. In mid, we actually see Fnatic very low to Trixie. And now they're going to go ahead and grab Havost out. There's the jump in from Dindy. Hand of God kept Havost alive, and he might get away because of it. He will. Era has to double back, flies in trouble. Dindy bouncing back and forth, and Era has to run away. So they do manage to get the Veno. And beautiful, beautiful Hand of God timing coming out of Puppey. Might not be so lucky himself, though, as Trixie's there to clean him up. They do manage to get another kill. This is going to be a big turnaround now. And Navi making the cardinal mistake and just hanging around too long. Gave Trixie time enough to rotate, Era time enough to get back up, get healed up because of his regen.
Already massive, and they can just pretty much take T2s. They don't really need to take any extreme risk right now. They can definitely take a good engagement with the Aegis, and if Navi trades poorly, it should probably be a GG.
Visage Familiars are there. Here comes Dindy off to relocate, looking to jump around. Hani going to be Vortex back. He'll be brought down, and Kuro cleaned up by the Visage Familiar, so they end up trading 1 for 1. The Visage for the Io. Now Fnatic caught inside with Trixie. Trixie avoiding that blade mail, eating a bit of damage. There's a time lapse, and we'll be able to clean him up. Now Dindy jumping back in and stunned out by the Familiars once again. Fly pursued out by Havost. Havost will secure that kill. Let's see if he can get away. Trixie, no tail and Era right on his tail. He's got unstable concoction in 1 second. Now he's got it up, and we'll look to spend it. He's got 4,500 gold in the bank as well. And do they have the damage? Trixie's got to be careful. He doesn't have time lapse, but they've got the pure damage output. And that's what we were talking about during the draft. We knew that could become a huge liability. The pure amount of burst.
He needs a BKB very badly because he keeps getting stunned by the Familiars, but still about close to 3,000 gold away from that.
Oh, Puppey bails himself out with a stomp there and uses Hand of God. And in the back, we see the Lincolns pop. Dindy doing what he can. Drops down the sentry. Trixie able to retreat. They already got 1 set of racks. There's a good hook from Fnatic. And No Tail there to help get some payback, though. 2 for 1, the current trade. Dindy jumps back in, looking to grab Era. Era still has the Aegis up. And the rest of Navi now on the warpath. And he's just going to go to work and do what he can. He's tanky enough. He can just turn and fight. And he's going to be able to kill Puppey.
Oh, he's silenced.
Wow. That poor Familiar.
Thing a Wisp can do, because Fnatic's just been 5-manning the whole entire time, and their 5-man is just way stronger. Chen, not that great on 5-man, especially with the Mass Midas. Storm Spirit, not that strong because he keeps dying because he doesn't have a BKB, and Fly may die here.
May die, but will it cost him more? Dindy's going to be caught out on the high ground, and he's just chopped to pieces. The damage is just too high right now. Havost even brought down quite low. Counter hook from Fnatic. Hani locked inside. The Familiars are there, though. And just look at them melt these heroes down. There's a mechanism to get them back up and ready to fight. Hani's still alive through it all. Familiar's not going to be picked off either. Just heard an unstable concoction. That caught Puppey behind his own tower. No Tail's there, throwing out the spears. Era will be able to get the kill on the Puppey, maybe. And Soul Assumption, not enough by itself. Penitence on the Era, slowing his retreat. He's going to go ahead and throw the unstable concoction. Still not enough to get the kill, but just take towers. They're pushing the Tier 2 bottom. Looks like Fnatic wants to fall back. They're going to TP a couple in. That's going to be Hani that lands in. Has to be careful. And here we go. There's a hook from Fnatic. Lands in, and Hani landing in a hot LZ and paying for it. Kuro trying to keep this fight going. Will be able to survive thanks to Puppey as he blows the Hand of God. And Trixie now going hunting as well. Fnatic spent the dust and will be spotted out by Era himself. Now Trixie and Havos going toe for toe. There's the blade mail popped. He's going to try to just TP away. Do they have a stun? Visage Familiar? Nope.
Wow, the Visage Familiar had the...
Going to go ahead and try to push again on the back of Havos and Kuro. Kuro getting into position, the tether here near the woods. That's going to force a TP. And they're going to collapse on mass, and Havos just being blown up and bursted down, unable to get him away in time. And unfortunately, that's going to cost Kuro his life as well, unless he pulls some tricky tricks. Doesn't have any creeps to tether to, I don't suppose. We'll find out. Oh. Sorry, Kuro, you're not no tail.
Enough buyback even after picking up the plate mail. This tower is just melting.
Yep. Havos comes out, shows his face. They're going to try to go toe-to-toe. And the tier 3 does drop. Era still has the cheese if he needs it. Vortex back, and that's what we're seeing Dindy do over and over again. Jump in, jump out. That's all he really can do. He can't really stay in these fights for a sustained amount of time. And we're going to see Hand of God used to keep Kuro alive. So they extend this out a little bit. Weaver, in the meantime, has finished his full Daedalus. And Fnatic seeming a little ham-handed. And this tier 3 push are eating a lot of AoE damage. And looks like they're just going to go ahead and reset, look to do it again.
Yep, they're still under no timeline. It's not like one item from Navi is really going to change things. It's not like they don't have a late game Havos getting
busted up. In the meantime, behind the fight, we see Storm Spirit picked off following an unstable concoction. And with him down and with no buyback, don't know they have any way to stop this. Havos going to try to do what he can, but they don't attack him and just attack Rax. It just ain't that much. And Puppey now being melted down and cleaned up. Havos, again, just running in circles. That's the entire set of mid-racks cleaned up. And Poison Nova goes off. Kuro likely to be cleaned up off of that. Fnatic drops the cogs. Unstable concoction will secure another kill. And Havos drops there. GG.
I think a lot of this had to do with the draft.
Yeah.
Like Navi, I think